What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are reviewing the Fellow Opus 2 coffee grinder. So about 2 years ago-ish, Fellow released the Fellow Opus, which was special for two reasons. The first was that it was their first coffee grinder capable of grinding for espresso, and the second was that it was under $200. I bought the grinder pretty soon after it came out. I used it for a while and then I did a review. For the most part, I liked the grinder, but I felt that some things could definitely be improved. I really liked the filter coffee made with the Opus, but I thought that it did struggle with espresso. Have those improvements been made? Is it a better grinder or is it just different? And more importantly, is it still value at $200? At the time of starting this video, the Opus 2 was only available for pre-order on Fellow's website, but I was able to snag one from Best Buy. I was able to pick it up within a few days, took it home, unboxed it, and I have been brewing both filter and espresso for the past 2 weeks-ish, and I have some thoughts, so here they are. So there were 6 things I wanted to see improved on the Opus. 5 of them I can speak to now, and the 6th I'll talk about it towards the end. Number 1, the taste. Is it better on espresso, and is it still good on filter? As far as I can tell, this is incredible. I have made some of the best tasting filter coffee of my life with this grinder. Out of any other burr set I've ever brewed on, maybe even EK43, the amount of clarity and separation of flavor that you get from these burrs is crazy. It's phenomenal. I can see the flavors, but I'm still experiencing sweetness and brightness and acidity. The cups are buoyant. They're not lacking in body. They still have a solid mouthfeel, but I've brewed 3 or 4 different coffees on this grinder, and I feel like it's done a very, very good job at representing each one. I have done a funky coffee, I've done a couple of like middle of the road coffees, and I've done some decaf, and it all just tastes really, really good. Espresso is giving me a lot of those same attributes. It's more focused towards clarity and separation of flavor, towards a softness and a more tea-like flavor. Because it is more focused towards that end, yes, there is a slight loss in texture and in mouthfeel. Shots still have a solid body. They're still really, really good. The taste is, out of all the other things on this grinder, is what has blown me away the most. Number 2 and 3, we'll just do both of them at the same time. So number 2 is improved retention slash chute design. I felt like the chute design in the first grinder was kind of made in such a way that made retention more possible. And then number 3, decreased static. The first one had a lot of static. And as far as both those go, there is none. There's no retention. And there's no static. Yeah. Number 4, is it easier to take out the burrs and put them back in and to clean the burr carrier? And the answer is yes. Yes, it is. The first one was just like kind of a nightmare. Like there would be this bolt that would like fall back into the grinder, and then you'd have to like fish it out and like turn the grinder upside down and give it a shake. And it was just this whole like traumatic experience. The second one, you literally just pop the outer burr out. You just loosen a nut to get the inner burr out, and then you're in there. And then it's just easy to like put the whole thing back together again. And then number 5, and probably the most important for some people, is the adjustment system better, or more accurately, is it just kind of like easier to understand for stupid people like me? And the answer is absolutely yes. Yes, it is. And I'll just show you. So the first one had a stepped outer and inner adjustment system. And the second one just has a stepless. This is it. This is all you gotta do. Honestly, pretty satisfying to turn. And I haven't experienced any drift. So were those first 5 things improved upon? Absolutely yes. This is like everything I wanted in the new Opus. So next in the video, I'm going to talk about the positives, I'm going to talk about the negatives, and then I'm going to talk about the unknowns. And I'm going to try to just kind of breeze through these so that this isn't a super long video. So the first is the new things, and I think all of them are positive. They're new to the Opus 2 from the Opus 1. The first is the grinder has an auto stop. That is something from the Ode. Number 2 is a magnetic brush, which is really satisfying. It just kind of like latches onto the top. I do want to say the brush is kind of pointless because there is no static or retention. So there's not a whole lot to brush. 3 is the cord storage underneath, which I think is a nifty addition. Finally, another new thing is that we've changed from 40mm burrs to 48mm burrs. So for all intents and purposes, this is a brand new grinder, brand new platform. Number 2 of like the whole list, sorry, is the build. Grinder feels solid, really solid. The burr carrier feels rock solid. It seems like there's tight tolerances in all the right places. There's a lot less flex than with the first Opus. The scratches on the hopper can't be seen because it's no longer transparent. And the base seems slightly more robust. I'm not noticing scratches as quickly. Number 3, consistency. Grind seems to be super consistent. All of my brews are finishing within, I think, good times. So not a whole lot of fines are being produced by the burrs. Number 4, I like the added curves on the grinder. I thought that the first Opus was pretty brutalist, and I feel like the curves here on the chute and then behind on the back, they soften the look of the grinder. This grinder, I'm gonna be honest with you, it looks way better in person than it does in photos. I don't know that the Opus 2 looks good in photos online. It looks really good on my coffee station. Number 5, I like that there's added color and personalization. You know, we've got like a bright red and a blue and a green. You know, obviously they're just the back panels, but we're getting somewhere. And you know, you've got like wooden lids, and I think the knobs on the more premium versions are actually made out of metal. Number 6 is the sound. It sounds pretty good when it's grinding. Like it's not unpleasant to listen to at all. Number 7, and which I think is completely awesome. I don't understand it really. I'm just going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. So it's a lot of the things I was talking about together. The crazy thing about this grinder is how fast it grinds. So I'm at 1.5, which is an espresso setting. It's pretty fine. I've got 18 grams of coffee right here, already measured out. So let's just go ahead and give that some RDT. We're not going to hot start. We're just going to cold start. And just see what happens. It's done. And now it's stopped. And I'll do the bellows. And I'll take it out. And I'll just get my finger in there. And it is clean and dry. And there is nothing. And I have soft, super consistent, fluffy espresso grounds. Motor in this thing just like rips through coffee, and the burrs are just like rock solid. So this grinder's $200. Like, that's impressive. Now we're going to talk about some of the negatives. So the first and probably the biggest one is, this grinder's made out of plastic. I don't love that. I don't love that it's made out of plastic. The point I made in my previous Opus review was that just because something's made out of plastic doesn't mean it's not well built. Number 2 is this printed lettering. Not really that big of an issue because you don't ever touch that part of the grinder. On this one, on the bricks, it also has printed lettering, but that's exactly the part that you have to like touch and then twist to turn. So I'm more concerned about that one. Opus, not as concerned. And number 3, this was actually a point I made in my previous video, is that when you put the hopper back on, you twist it back to lock it back on, it'll sound out a beep to let you know you have done a good job. But the beep is premature. Like, it'll actually sound off before you've locked the hopper all the way in. And then number 4 is the catch cups. They're plastic. They feel a bit cheap. Like they have a magnet on the bottom. And the magnet's actually like, that works really well. You can put that in the positives. They still have the same anti-static material that works really well. Although it has been raining buckets here where I live. And the only retention that I'm getting is just a little bit of static on the inside of the catch cup. Hasn't been a lot. Been like 0.1, 0.2 grams. But if you squeeze this thing, it'll make like a cracky sound. Yeah. I'm not going to keep squeezing it because it freaks me out. And yeah, there's 2 catch cups now. Instead of the espresso cup fitting inside the filter cup, there's just one for either brew method, which is fine. I can never have too many vessels to like put things in. And then the unknowns. So there are 3 unknowns, and then the third is the 6th thing I wanted to see change. That doesn't confuse you at all. The first is I haven't really attempted to brew any darker or more oily roasts on this thing. The reason I think that is a concern is because the exit chute, it's a bit small. And if you did get any clumping, I feel like it would kind of clog it up pretty quickly, but I don't know. I haven't tested it out, and you do have the hopper acting as a bellows, so maybe it's not an issue, but just so you know. Number 2 is swapping out parts. This is a plastic grinder, you know. How Baratza-esque is this going to be? Am I going to be able to like swap out the ring and the knob? I know I can swap out like the personalization bits, like the back plate and the top, but I would love to see like a metal ring, and if there is a metal knob, I would love to replace it. And then number 3, which is the 6th issue, and probably the one I'm most worried about, is the quality and consistency over time. I'm going to be looking at my computer at the script a little bit because this one's kind of wordy. So with the first Opus, it was an issue on 2 fronts. The first was with the grinder with itself. Its ability to grind a specific particle size consistently over time. Obviously, burrs wear in. Things are going to get a little bit coarse over time, but there had been reports of long-term owners having grind sizes that were kind of just like all over the place, which essentially made the grinder completely useless for espresso. The second was the Opus being consistent with another Opus. Some people had grinders out of the box that were set too fine, some set too coarse, definitely some QC issues. Has this one addressed those? I will say that the build on this one feels way sturdier. I can say that, but like I won't know what the grinder looks like a year from now, 2 years from now. And then again, because it's made out of plastic. So what I can say is if this grinder fixes that final problem, its ability to perform consistently over time, then it sets a new standard for grinders in this price range. It's beautiful, it's minimal, it's consistent, and most importantly, it makes really good cups of coffee and espresso. So should you buy it? Yeah, I think if you're in the market for a grinder at that price point, I don't know why I wouldn't recommend this to you. And I was making this video, I was thinking about this in terms of, is the Opus 2 better than the Opus 1? And is it still a value in the $200 price range? And kind of like after using it for a few weeks, instead, now I think this is just a great grinder. I mentioned before the Time More Bricks 01S. I'm excited to try it out and do a review on that and then see how these two compare. So until then, also, and I can't believe I'm saying this, if you found this video useful in any way, then please consider liking and subscribing if you want to. You do not have to. Thank you for watching.